right. Today is Throwback Thursday, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about a DOS game, an old PC game that I love very much. It is now called the Urquan Masters, but when it first came out in the very early 90s, it was called Star Control 2. Star Control 2, everything but the name Star Control 2 is owned by the original creators, and their names are Paul and Fred, and they have decided to release the code out into the open source community. So first, we're going to go into the setup menu, and I'm going to show you what the setup menu looks like. There are tons of options to make it look more like the 3DO style or more like the original PC version. So I have selected here the menu style is text, but there are also pictograms that resemble the 3DO version. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so there were two different versions of the game. One came out on the PC, the other came out on the 3DO. The 3DO, if you didn't know it existed, that's okay, because it only had two games that were really awesome, and those were Gex and Star Control 2. And Star Control 2 also came out on PC, so it was really more of a port. It has decent graphics options for such an old game. Remember, I have the HD version downloaded. It was released into the open source community, and then there's been an HD version created by the fan community. They have a great fan community. I'm not really going to do much with Scalar. I don't like the scan lines. I'm going to return there. All right. Let's see. Resources, not yet part of the experience. You'll see that there are multiple ways to control this game. ESDF being the player 2 controls by default. You can also use WASD, WASD. Obviously, I do not recommend that anybody tries to use WASD for one player and ESDF for another player because of the overlap. It is also possible to use this game on a joystick, or to play this game on a joystick. Not going to do anything there. Frame buffer, show FPS, sound driver, sound quality. In-game help menus, show nebulae. Show some beautiful nebulas in solar systems. Doesn't really do anything. See, rotating planets is beautiful. Textured planets, that's pretty awesome. Cheat mode. What? Oh, okay. Yeah, no cheat mode. I don't cheat. Yeah. Okay, so, putting setup menu, and this is the game as it stands. If you go into Super Melee, it'll there will be a battle. This is the battle mode. You can edit each side. You can give them different ships. You can give this side more ships than that other side. Right now, the human-controlled player has fewer ships. Notice that the point value in the bottom right here is 222, and for the 300-point Armada, it is exactly 300. So that would put the human at a bit of a disadvantage in a duel. Of course, most humans, once they get good at the game, are better than the cyborg. Anyway, you can do that. You can even go to the net and find opponents there. Press F10 to quit this, because we are going into the single-player mode, and it's awesome. All right, you ready for this? They have an introduction video because that's how they did things back then. The Interstellar Fungi League presents the Urquan Masters, based on the source code of the Star Control 2. Star Control is a trademark. Originally created by Fred Ford and Paul Reich III. Set free to the open source community in 2002, enhanced in 2012. There were many great battles. Earth and her partners in the Alliance of Free Stars against the evil Urquan and its hierarchy of battle thralls. And the Urquan were winning. Meanwhile, on the edge of known frontier, an amazing discovery was made. Far beneath the surface of an unexplored alien world, a huge underground city filled with the technological wonders of an advanced alien race, the Precursors, who vanished 1,000 centuries ago. Yeah, but they built their stuff to last. But then the main Urquan fleet broke through the Alliance's defensive line, isolating the planet, stranding the scientists 100 light-years away from Earth. They waited hopefully for a rescue vessel, which never came. 20 years have passed. We, the survivors of the research mission, have colonized this world. We continued our investigation of the underground city, and we have discovered its purpose. It is a factory. A factory for building starships. But there aren't enough materials to make a complete vessel. We can finish only the skeleton of one starship. But that must be enough. Because you must captain the vessel and return to Earth. To travel the great distance, you must push through into hyperspace. Find out what has happened over these many years. Tell Earth of our plight. And if the war with the Urquan still rages, fight for Earth and the Alliance as well as you can. Captain, what is your name? My name is Vader. And what is the name of your flagship? Death Star. No, I'm not copying from some other science fiction fantasy. Shut up. I can name it whatever I want. Okay, so I am Captain Vader of the Death Star. And here we go. This solar system may look familiar. And when you first get here, you'll notice that you are in a very unwieldy ship, and it takes forever to turn. And there's the sun, and if you'll notice in the top, the upper left, it says Sol. I seem to have minimized. Okay, there we go. I'm back. So it says Sol up there, indicating that this is, in fact, the solar system that you and I know and love. And when we get closer to a planet, oops, that is not, okay, this planet will do. It says in the upper right, it says Mars, right next to where my captain's name is. So we can go to Mars, entering planetary orbit, and the first thing you do when you enter orbit is you scan. So you can do the mineral scan, and there's a bunch of minerals here. They're gray minerals, but that doesn't mean much to us yet. It will mean something later. Energy scan. Nothing. Biological scan. Nothing. There is no life on Mars, and there is no civilization on Mars either. Isn't that terrible? Gosh, it's the year is 2155. We still don't have life on Mars. We still don't have civilization on Mars. What's going on? So if you like, you can dispatch something, a lander, to the planet. You'll notice here it says that the orbits and atmosphere and temperature all have values, and those are, as far as I'm aware, accurate values for Mars, and they don't matter one bit. You'll also notice that there is, right below my ship on the very right-hand side, you've got Death Star, Fuel 10. Below that it says Crew 50, and below that it says Fuel Use 0.8. It'll take 0.8 fuel units to send my lander down to Mars. All right, back to the left-hand side, weather and tectonics. The weather is Class 2. The tectonics are also Class 2. Those will matter on other planets, but for right now, I'm just going to tell you that they don't matter much for Mars. All right, so sending a lander, and away we go. You'll notice it didn't land exactly where I sent it, but it landed pretty close. The game does that to you on purpose so that you can't just land on top of a mineral and take off immediately. That's actually really worth it on some of the dangerous planets if you could do it. But you can't. Okay, so we're full on minerals. You'll notice that the red thing was full on minerals. Alright. We could send another lander down to get all that stuff, but it would cost fuel. And let's just navigate back out of here. I don't really feel like doing that. Okay. So this is my ship moving out of Mars. It's pretty slow and very unwieldy right now. Now, you'll notice we've got Mercury and Venus and Mars and Earth all on screen, but Earth is looking kind of weird. So let's investigate that. Oh dear, oh dear.
Attention, interloper. Heed this recorded message. This drone vessel speaks with the voice and authority of Iroquois. You are trespassing within Iroquois space. This world, Earth, may not be approached for any reason. Nor will hostilities against our orbital platform be tolerated. In addition, your ship does not respond to standard hierarchy identification transmissions, and is therefore deemed to be independent. This is not permissible. Only subservience shall be tolerated. This drone now needs to inform the Iroquois of your transgressions. You are commanded to remain here and await the arrival of the Iroquois.
Wow.
Disobedience will be punished.
That guy looks pretty severe. The Iroquois. Wait a minute. Aren't we at war with the Iroquois? What's going on here? So he's commanding us not to not to destroy the orbital platform. And he says it's their orbital platform, and only subservience will be tolerated. That does not sound good. He commanded us to stay there, but
Attention,
I don't care about
unidentified space vessel. I am Starbase Commander Hayes of the slave planet Earth.
All right, we got you.
Situation critical. Energy cores exhausted.
Oh dear, that sounds
Scanners
bad.
and deep radar are non-functional.
Uh-oh.
We cannot identify your vessel. Are you the scheduled hierarchy resupply ship? Repeat. Are you the resupply vessel?
No, I'm not the resupply vessel. No, this is the starship Death Star, but we stand ready to assist you.
What? Never mind, look. We won't last much longer. Here's our situation. According to our oath of fealty to the Urquan, we must be but we have no space vessels of our own, and which totally prevents us from contacting Earth, so we're totally dependent on the Urquan supply vessels for everything we need up here. We know there's a hierarchy based on the surface of the world, but we can't contact them. The Urquan were supposed to resupply the base at regular 5-year intervals, but we haven't received anything in almost 8 years.
8 years?
What we don't recycle, we can usually synthesize. But to do so, we need replacement radioactives for our generator energy core.
That's rough.
If you could bring us some radioactive elements, we can fabricate the cores ourselves.
All right, yeah, let's do
Are you
that.
willing to help us?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. You're humans, we're humans. We should be working together. Where can we find that?
Radioactive in this system would be to land on Mercury and scour the surface for deposits of radioactive elements.
All right, got it.
Be
Radioactive
careful.
elements.
Mercury is a pretty inhospitable place. Watch out for earthquakes and those high temperature areas.
All right. We will
Thanks,
leave
and make
now.
sure to mention this the next time I talk with our masters. I'm sure they will reward you.
Yeah, then what? No, we don't. That's not what I wanted to hear. I didn't. Well, he said there was a resupply base on the moon. So let's go see what that's all about. All right. So I'm gonna scan. Actually, I'm gonna go look at the manifest, cargo manifest. All right, we've got common, corrosive, base metal, noble gas, rare earth, precious, radioactive, and exotic stuff. Those are all possible things that we can encounter, and they each have a different value. Common and corrosive look like they're basically just worthless, and the real good stuff are yellow, orange, and purple. So we're going to see if this place has any of those. Scan, mineral scan. Not really any. No radioactives. Energy scan. Well, they've got there is a base. Biological scan. There's life on the moon. This is Luna. What's going on here? I'm going to dispatch a lander here. Now, when you're down here on the surface, okay, it looks like these aren't actually alive. They're just robots. And let me see if I can fill up the tank before I explore that thing. Yeah, that's right. Don't mess with Earth. All right. We have discovered an alien base and have explored its interior. The installation must have been abandoned many years ago, but great care has been taken to make it appear active. Life support systems are functioning, fusion generators are at full output, and robotic construction vehicles have been programmed to roam the lunar surface, bulldozing moon dust into random piles. Okay, don't feel too bad about blowing a couple of those up. In addition, we have found the installation's hyperwave locked in transmit mode, endlessly playing the same alien recording. Although we cannot translate the message, our Xenotech, Ensign Rigby, believes the message is some kind of alert or mayday broadcast. The base is filled with useful materials and equipment. We will scavenge as much as we can and bring it aboard immediately. Oh, okay. We still need to find those radioactive elements. Right? So we're gonna go try to find those on Mercury. Now Mercury has some hot spots, and it's got some earthquakes, so it's going to be a dangerous place. All right. This time I'm going to do an auto scan, which does all 3 scans all at once. And you'll notice that there are some red, there are some gray, there are some yellow, and there are some orange spots. All right. The oranges are the radioactives. We're going to go for those. And you'll notice that on my lander in the bottom right, once we launch it, there will be 10 green dots. And those represent my crew. We're going to go here. All right. Hopefully... All right. Woo! Managed to collect all that stuff without getting blown up. Didn't even lose a single crewman. In this game, crew are basically hit points for your ships. So if your ship runs out of crew, then it blows up. And that's just how the game works. It's a little tongue-in-cheek and a little bit of dark humor there. Well, let's see if we can do anything with Earth, because Earth is awesome. All right, scan auto. I can't scan it. Can't dispatch anybody. Okay. So weather is class 2, tectonics are class 2, temperature is pretty low compared to Mercury, which is where we just were. Atmosphere is 1 atmosphere, orbit is 1 AU. Mass, yeah, okay. So that looks like Earth. Whoa, hey, I thought that was going to collide. I thought that was going to be... Because you have to collide with a thing in order to interact with it.
Did you find any radioactive elements for our power cores?
Yes, we did.
Now, as soon as our engineers can refit the energy cores, that's much better. Power ratings are climbing. Life support is coming back into the green. Deep radar systems and sensors are now online, and I can scan your vessel. What the hell kind of ship is that? Just who are you, Captain?
I'm Captain Vader of the starship Death Star. We are the survivors of a Star Control Science research team to the Vela star system.
Star Control Science mission, huh? Captain,
Yes.
I served as a Star Control officer during the war aboard several cruisers in the Corward Front. And if there'd been any scientific mission to Vela, I would have heard about it.
Yes, well, this mission was highly
Come to
secret.
think of it, there were some rumors that Corridor 9, the Special Operations Division of Star Control, was directing some hush-hush operation near Androsynth Space. The Vela star system, yes, that would be the right direction. So, Captain, if you say it's true, how do you explain that huge alien starship you're flying? And why are you here? What do you want from us?
Well, we have returned to Earth to give you the technological secrets of the precursors and to help you fight the hierarchy.
Fight the Urquan.
Yes!
Win back our freedom. I
Yes!
remember having such thoughts myself once, a long time ago.
Still,
That was
you can
the
still
first
have
years
them.
after the defeat, when it was
It's
still
cool.
terrifying to look up and see the bloody glow of the pulsating slave shield overhead.
Oh, wow.
So day and night we gazed up at the impenetrable wall as though the sheer power of our hatred would pull it down.
That sounds
Over the
pretty rough.
years, I spent so much of my time struggling, down on the surface, under the shield, and then later up here trying to keep the station alive, that I'd forgotten what it means to be free, to hate our Urquan masters. And now here you are, in an alien ship of unknown power, offering me your assistance to fight against the hierarchy again after all these years.
Yep.
Captain, your offer is intriguing. It's tempting to think that with your advanced precursor technology, we can somehow crack the Earth's slave shield and reassemble the Alliance to attack the hierarchy. And this time, win the damn war.
Yeah.
Consider the consequences if you should fail. The Urquan won't just punish us here on the station, they'll exact a gruesome retribution on the surface below as well. Before I commit this station to helping you attack the Urquan and accepting the risk of annihilation if we are defeated, I have to make sure that you and your ship have what it takes to oppose the hierarchy.
Oh yeah, we have it.
I'll make you a deal. If you can eliminate the alien base on the moon and get rid of that threat at least, I will seriously consider your offer.
Oh yeah. Oh wow, that's so difficult. Yes, very difficult thing you asked us to do. We attacked the moon base and completely destroyed the enemy. Yes, all of the enemies that we found, everyone who tried to attack us, they're dead.
You fought them, Captain? I hope you didn't suffer serious casualties.
Oh yes, it was a very vicious fight.
I'm
Very
delighted
vicious.
to hear it, Captain. I wish I could have been there. Captain, listen closely. Long-range sensors show a ship closing on this station fast. Our computer identifies it as ILRAP, Avenger class. I think you've got a fight on your hands,
A real
Captain.
fight.
Your best
I
bet
don't
is
know
to
about
wait
that.
until you have point-blank range. Captain, it's jamming our signal.
All right.
By the fetid breath of the Dark Twin Kazon, a human and an alien starship.
Yes.
How fascinating.
I'm sure you're fascinated.
I intercepted that Urquan drone and learned that an unidentified starship had approached Earth. I never expected to find such a remarkable vehicle in the hands of a human.
Oh, come on. What's wrong with humans?
Humans are prey animals, weak and helpless.
Don't judge me because I'm fat.
Human in an armed
I'm not that
starship,
fat.
and therefore in direct violation of the oath of fealty.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Oh, the fealty that I never swore.
Urquan will punish Earth most severely for this treachery.
Yeah,
when I present them with the twisted wreckage of your ship and your many charred corpses.
Okay. What I need you to do now is chill out. You're a psychopath, aren't you? You know what? I am Captain Vader of the Death Star, and I'm just going to say that it will be no. I will give you a chance. I'll give you one chance to surrender.
Surrender, foul alien creature, or you will be annihilated.
Fool. As alien as your ship may be, our sensors reveal how few weapons you have on board.
Oh snap!
Though this vessel is undercrewed and our cloak of darkness is non-functional,
Okay.
we still have more than enough power to kill you all.
So you just told me that your main weapons are not actually functional. This battle, you can win it with your main ship, and you'll suffer some casualties. But usually, it's a lot faster to just take it down with the human cruiser that you begin with. This one is captained by Captain Pike, and you have to shoot it with a couple of missiles. All right, yeah, he didn't stand a chance.
What a beautiful sight, Captain.
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't seen an Avenger blown away like that since the battle in Draco.
Yeah, neither have
I guess
I.
you've shown that you can handle yourself in battle, Captain. So my last reservation about helping you has been dissolved.
Yeah, we're pretty awesome.
Commit this station to helping free Earth and defeat the Urquan. We may get our atoms rearranged in the process, but by God, Captain, we're going to try.
That's very
so
brave
the
of
obvious
you.
first step is to get the precursor equipment and software over here so that we can make it work with our ship repair fabricators.
Yeah, okay.
But then what, Captain?
That's important.
Then we will proceed to kick some major alien butt.
Yes, Captain. We'll do just that.
Yeah.
By the way, Captain, I think we need a name for this new alliance we're going to forge.
A name for
Since
the
it was your
alliance.
idea, it's only fair that you get the honor of naming it. So, what will it be?
The Empire of Vader. Okay, no, that's been done before. That's been done. The old thing, in the history of this game, the old alliance that stood against the Urquan was called the Alliance of Free Stars. So it kind of makes some sense to choose the new Alliance of Free Stars. So of course, we're not going to choose that. I think we could call this the Concordance of Alien Nations. That sounds good.
Very well. From this day forward, we're the Concordance of Alien Nations. Now, Captain, I expect the configuration process for the starbase to take at least 2 weeks, so let's get
Now
to
you'll
work.
notice there's a date right below the ship on the right-hand side. It says February 24th.
I have
That's
good
gonna
news
change.
to report, Captain. We have successfully integrated the precursor technology from your ship into our fabricator system, and as you can see, we've already begun minor repairs on your ship, patching up some of the micrometeorite holes. We noticed that your ship does not have an emergency warp escape unit, so our engineers rigged up some for you and each of your escorts.
Okay, escape
Now
sounds
you
good.
should be able to escape from a bad situation with the touch of a button, but there is a cost, however. The unit gulps up 5 fuel units each time your precursor ship uses it. Also, we now have a limited capacity to make modifications to your ship, to refine Starship fuel, to build additional combat ships, and to train new members of your crew for the flagship and any ships you acquire for your fleet.
All right.
Captain, I know you're eager to get to work, so I'll be brief. If you have any questions how this starbase works, what resources we need, or just some background information on the galaxy,
All right.
don't hesitate to ask.
Now we're getting to the part where that just makes me love this game to death. Okay, so first, we're going to upload some minerals.
The
we
more
get
minerals you bring
some
us,
money.
Captain, the faster we'll be able to tackle the Urquan.
All right. And then you can ask him for background information.
Captain.
Right.
What do you need to know?
Completely optional, but he'll tell you about all sorts of stuff. Okay? He can tell you about the starbase, he can tell you about historical data, and he can give some input on how to defeat the Urquan. So,
We can modify your precursor ship, build additional combat vessels, and supply you with fuel and crew.
all right. So now you can ask about specific things. There's just so much dialogue in this game. It's amazing, and there's so many things, so much information they have. That the world they built is just so rich that it's beautiful. It's great, and it feels fantastic to go about, conquering these places. All right. Let's see. How can I assemble
Our
a fleet?
shipyard facilities are sophisticated and fully automated, permitting a handful of starbase personnel to do the same job as 500 vac-suited construction workers.
Oh, wow.
However, the only designs that we had in our computers were incomplete hierarchy ship designs. Things looked grim until one of the officers came forward with an amazing story.
Yeah.
Even though the Urquan destroyed every Earthling cruiser in the fleet nearly 20 years ago,
Except for the one
of
that
my
I
maintenance
have.
engineers was a Starship production assistant at the Detroit shipyard.
Nice.
When Earth was conquered, she was ordered to destroy all ship construction databases. But she secretly made copies of the blueprint disc and then kept them with her ever
Discs.
since.
You can tell
These
it's an old
discs
game.
contain all the data we need to build as many Earthling cruisers as you want, provided you, Captain, can supply the large amounts of mineral resources required to build those vessels.
Nice.
In theory, Captain, we could build alien starships here if we had designs for them. However,
alien starships.
it's a well-known fact that alien vessels just can't be flown in combat without native starship captains at the helm.
Oh, yeah, of course. Everyone knows that, right? Okay, so sometimes they just make stuff up for the game. Yeah, there you go. Okay,
What else can I tell you?
and then you can ask about
What
historical
aspect of
data.
history, Captain?
What aspect of history? Okay. Other starfaring races.
Which group of aliens?
Which group of aliens? There's a whole bunch of them. Members of the Old Alliance. All right, which one? Oh, wow, there's a whole bunch of them. These are all of the old allies that Earth used to have, like the Murnurm.
We didn't really get much of a chance to learn about those mechanical beings. But
Uh-huh.
I'll tell you what I know.
Okay, please do.
They're the product of a distant, unknown culture who
Really?
sent a giant factory arc into our region of space many centuries ago.
Crazy.
The Mother Arc, that's what the Earth Press called it, turned out millions
Okay.
of robots and finally broke down.
That is a
I
sensible
don't know
name
why
for
the
it.
Murnerherm didn't repair the Mother Arc. Maybe they can't. My personal guess
Okay.
as to why they were sent here is that they're on the leading edge of a colonization project.
Huh,
And once the Murnerherm
colonization.
attained enough new worlds, the genuine colonists, whoever they are, will arrive and claim their due.
That sounds like an interesting theory. All right. So that is enough about the Alliance. You can use the left and right keys to navigate through the dialogue. Let's see.
Would you like?
No more history. I do not require it. So anyway,
Back lots
this guy will teach you all about the world and its rich history and the interactions with other different groups, but he's not the only one. He doesn't know everything. He just knows the Earth perspective. So we can outfit our starship. And when you do, I highly recommend you increase the amount of fuel you have. And you'll notice that it starts filling up on the fuel tank on our left-hand side. All right, modules. This is our fuel tank. That's our crew pod. That's our storage bay. And that's our ion bolt gun. So that's all we've got. We've also got a few turning jets. We need more turning jets. That costs 500 for a turning jet. Totally worth it. Worth every penny. Antimatter thruster, totally worth it. Make this ship go faster and turn better. Okay, worth every penny. And then there are other landers. We start out with one. If you're very careful, you only need one. But, you know, you might not be very careful. And that's okay if you're not. And the shipyard. So I could build an earthing cruiser, but I don't have enough resource units to do that. In this game, because it's a shipyard and because it's a game, they will build everything at cost and scrap everything at cost. So if it costs 2,000 resource units to build something, then scrapping that thing will give you all of those resource units. All right, one last thing I want to show you from this area before we move on to the other reason that I love this game. One last thing here in Sol. And that's on Pluto. Which, of course, isn't a planet anymore, but in 1992, it was a planet just fine, so discuss that in the comments, if you will. Scan, auto scan. We got a mineral scan. Oh, there's a purple one right there. And an energy scan. A thing. There's a thing. Let's find out what that thing is. Okay, we're going to dispatch the crew. We're going to go down to the planet. Oh, okay. Was not looking at my map. All right, some Zo crystals. And what's this energy thing over here? We're going to find it. That looks unusual. Okay, let's talk about it. Uh-oh. Notice in the bottom right how it's just a bunch of my guys died there. Others took a lot of damage there. We have come under fire from an alien vessel we have found hiding on the surface of Pluto. Captain, they killed Kowalski, Fritz, Chin, O'Donnell, Luigi, and all three of the Lieberman triplets. We have returned fire, but our stunner can't penetrate the ship's hull armor. We are initiating emergency launch procedures. End of transmission. Oh no, this is horrible.
Attention, a big, mean, hostile alien vessel hovering overhead in an obvious attack posture.
Yes, that's us.
This
We're
is Spotty Captain
obviously attacked.
Sowito. I know you are going to torture me, so let's just
Okay.
get this over with right now.
Right, I didn't say that.
The coordinates of my homeworld, Spatiwa, are
241.6
by 306.
Should I be writing this down? Wait, I just used the left mouse button, or the left, sorry, arrow key.
241.6 by 306.
Okay. 241.6 and 368.7. All right.
Which is known only by me and several billion other Spotty, is Huffy,
Muffy, Guffy. Okay, well, if I hear that,
I was so startled when it approached my vessel in a threatening manner that my automated defense systems fired on it when it got too close.
Yeah, clearly.
Nobody got
Okay,
hurt.
I think you're lying, but that's okay. Hi there, friend. All right, let's do the human thing. We come in peace and mean you no harm.
Are you sure? because
Yes.
is often just a
More polite
way
way
of
of saying
attention alien vessel,
identifying yourself or be
destroyed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I want to be polite.
Rico of the void ship Star Runner, placed here in this planetary system as part of the powerful Earth-powered the Star Force, which
Okay.
our master, the Earth One, established here to make sure the Earthlings don't do
Uh-huh.
anything tricky.
Yeah, we're pretty tricky. So, you failed. By the way, just FYI, so as you know. Right, so, what are you doing here on
20 years
Pluto?
ago, this region of space was dominated by a loose confederation known as the
Uh-huh.
Alliance of Free Stars.
Right, Alliance of Free
which
Stars.
was composed of the aliens native to these parts who did not want to be enslaved. They made a valiant effort against the superior Urquan forces. It even looked like they might miraculously defeat the combined Urquan armada, right up to the point at which the Urquan totally defeated, indeed annihilated them.
Wow, that doesn't really answer my question, though. I mean, that's part of it, but what are you doing?
The Urquan armada entered the system to subjugate
You're
formerly the
up.
Earthlings. The Urquan presented the humans with
Okay.
the
Standard slave options. All right.
Join the hierarchy.
Join the
as
hierarchy.
roles and retain some autonomy, including the right to travel through space.
Right to travel through
or
space is cool.
become a fellow species and return to pre-atomic savagery on the surface of their homeworld.
Oh, okay.
Exist for all time beneath an impenetrable force shield.
Oh,
The humans chose the latter option,
Yeah.
and so were swiftly imprisoned on the surface of Earth.
uh-huh.
The Urquan didn't trust them to obey the restrictions. So,
Right, 'cause we're
they
sneaky.
chose a small group of hierarchy combat starships from the inlet and top-of-this structure, the so-called Earth Guard, and stationed them at a base on Earth's moon.
All right. But that doesn't really explain what you are doing here on Pluto, does it, Captain
Originally, we
Flipper?
were stationed on Earth's moon, which made us happy a bit uneasy
Yeah.
because with each passing day we grew more and more worried about the sneaky Earthlings making a surprise attack.
We're pretty
So the
sneaky.
Illreds kept telling us that it was impossible since the Earthlings had no ships or weapons whatsoever.
Yeah, no
That
ships and
made us
weapons.
feel
That
a
makes it
bit
tougher.
better, but when the Illreds left, again we grew fearful.
Right.
We decided to make a strategic redeployment
Strategic
to Mars.
redeployment.
Later on, we decided it would be prudent to relocate to Jupiter's moon, Ganymede, then later Saturn's moon, Titan,
Uh-huh.
and finally here to Pluto.
So now you are that person that got stationed here. All right. But that doesn't. Why aren't there more? There were supposed to be more, right? What? And what's happening on Luna? That base that we picked up and it was transmitting
We
something.
decided that if the Earthlings figured out we had abandoned the base on the Luna, they would be more likely to try something sneaky. So, we rigged up some old service androids
Yeah.
and ordered them to drive around on the lunar surface in bulldozers,
Yeah,
endlessly
pollution
pushing
all
around
over.
the same piles of dirt.
Uh-huh.
In addition, we connected the base's local radio transmitter to an audio malnormé fun ROM called Winky's Happy Night,
Winky's
hoping
Happy
they would
Night.
think we were still there.
So my Xenotech is kind of incompetent. All right. Good to know. Good to know. He doesn't know anything about the Spathy. Good to know. Also, your eye is kind of freaking me out, but that's okay. So what happened to the Illrat?
Illrat contingent were supposed to be the toughest rigged crest, the most rigid flipper, yes, the backbone of the Earth Guard force.
Yeah.
But they
You don't have one of
departed
those,
the
do you?
system en masse not long after the last Earthbound dreadnought vanished from this region of space. They claimed to have received a direct order from their gods of evil and darkness, who had
Gods of
grown
evil and
satisfied
darkness,
with
really.
the Illrat's passivity and wanted them to kill, or at least torture someone soon.
Yeah, okay.
Personally, I believe they just got bored and went up to have some.
Yeah, that whole command from the gods might be a sort of excuse. All right. When do you expect the Illrat to return?
Well, when they were pushing up into hyperspace 18 years ago,
18 years
we asked
ago.
them that very question, and I think they said something to the effect of real soon.
Real soon. Yeah. All right. You know, Fliffo, you'd probably feel safer if you were with us.
Well, I really want to, but I am just not sure that under the present circumstances, joining you in your exciting and also dangerous space adventures would be the best course of action right now, because the Oricon could return at any minute, and the punishment they would bestow on me for such treason would make any other horrible death seem like big fun by comparison.
Okay, yeah.
The offer, though.
Yeah, no problem. Totally, that's on the table. So what happened to the other Spathy ships? The rest of the Spathy?
To redeploy strategically some of our Earth-powered forces to our homeworld in case of a sudden surprise attack by a vicious, unrelenting alien race which we Spathy call the Ultimate Evil.
Yeah, that sounds like something you definitely need to go to the homeworld and defend against. So, what is this?
Ultimate Evil remains largely unmanifest. Its powers and exact intentions are still a bit obscure.
A little bit.
It lurks just outside the range of even the most sensitive long-range detectors.
Right.
Which we feel gives conclusive evidence as to the Ultimate Evil's nefarious intent.
Yes, obviously it wouldn't be hiding behind your scanner reach if it were trying to do something nice. If it were, you know, perfectly cool with everything that's going on. All right, so why are you still here?
It was our most powerful and unforgiving masters, the Oricon, who stationed us here. We knew it would be grossly stupid to disobey them completely.
Yeah.
But we decided it would be okay to send just one ship home.
Okay.
We used one of our most ancient and solemn rituals, Poon Taffy, to
Taffy.
the lucky ship. Then, several months later, we decided that it wouldn't really hurt if we sent one more ship home.
One more ship,
And then
okay.
we sent another, and another.
Yeah, I get the idea.
Alas, as fate would have it, when the final ritual was performed, I, Rippo, was left here alone. For as even the most immature in wrestling knows, there must always be one stalker who puts the short top runs.
Okay, so you're just drawing sticks. All right. How many other people do you have?
And perhaps even hundreds. Of my brethren stride through the corridors of this specially modified, super-efficient, destruction-oriented starship, which could lay siege to an entire planetary system.
Yeah.
Should we choose to do so, which, fortunately for you, we have decided not to do today.
Mighty generous of you. Oh, come on.
I am undone. You are far too clever.
Yes, I am. I am super clever.
And now I must submit to your superior alien intellect.
All right.
I guess I am not revealing any truly important secrets if I tell you that each of my species' lunar class void ships typically holds 30 Spathy crewmen.
30 is a lot.
At present, my vessel, the Starrunner, is not up to full complement due to the needs of my homeworld in their resistance against the Ultimate Evil.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
In fact, my vessel is somewhat understaffed right
Somewhat
now.
understaffed, okay. Yeah, a little bit.
I am the only Spather on board, which is a bit
Oh.
frustrating, as I am sure you can understand.
You're the only one. All right. Yeah, are you happy here alone by yourself? That
True,
seems
Captain, how true. In truth, just between us,
crazy.
during the past 7 years, I have been quite ill at ease, yet now I find myself enjoying your company. This witty dialogue
Very witty dialogue.
and the presence of your huge, powerful, death-dealing starship, which, being my friend, you would certainly feel compelled to use in order to save me from any hostile life form who threatened me with death.
Yes. You know, I'm sure you would feel a lot safer if you were with us. Come on, Whippo, join our fleet.
And jubilation.
Hey.
I discard all prejudice and hesitation and accept and celebrate your offer of protection and your undying commitment to my
Yes,
well-being.
my undying commitment
And
to your well-being.
melancholy for just a moment, though. And make sure you understand that any other Spathy ships waiting at large in the galaxy are not going to be quite so responsive to your friendly gestures.
Yes,
as
well,
myself.
that's totally
Since
reasonable.
They bear more heavily the yoke of Earthborn enslavement and are also apt to talk themselves out of a line with a totally unknown alien.
unknown
which
alien.
I, having been left here alone, cannot
Yeah.
do. Welcome me aboard,
That makes
Captain.
sense. Okay. So, one more thing. I want to show you the star map. Boom! This is the star map. This is all the stars you can visit. You can visit any of these stars that you want to. Right? The shadows show us how far my fuel can get to and back. But you can go all the way out to these stars out here during the course of the game. Eta Aquarii, go ahead. You want to go to Alpha Aquilae, go ahead. Or Epsilon Aquilae, yeah, that's fine. Maybe you want to go to this one, this red one, Delta Arietis. Yeah, any of these planets you can go to. They each have any one of these stars you can go to. They each have planets, and they each have their own. Well, not all of them have planets. Most of them have planets, and some of them have alien ships that you can talk to. I'm gonna save the game here, and we're going to. Thursday. Save that and quit the game. Thank you very much for joining me for a little bit of Star Control 2, and if this is popular, I will keep doing it. I'm Lance Vader, and fly safe through the, or have fun in the stars.